el juego que diseñan cascos.
Sí.
Pues tenían que hacer un concurso y algo.
Ah, vale.
Sí, sí. Pedro forgot to come. Ese. Hostia, ¿cómo suena esto?
¿Qué dices? La talla.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to the Monster Energy Grand Prix of Catalonia. It's round 15 of 22 in this year's Motogp World Championship. Misano next weekend before we go globetrotting to Japan, Indonesia, Australia and Malaysia. Joining us for the pre-event press conference here today is the Catalunya team rider Marc Marquez. Marc on this incredible run of 7 successive double victories, which sees him sit 175 points clear at the top of the championship. And depending on what happens here this weekend, Marc could go to Misano next time out with his first match point for the title. To Marc's right, we welcome Red Bull Caterham Factory Racing rider Pedro Acosta. Pedro in great form at the moment with 2 sprint podiums in the last 3 rounds, 2 Grand Prix podiums in the last 3 rounds as well, moving Pedro up to 5th overall in the World Championship. And completing today's lineup, we welcome Aprilia Racing's Jorge Martin. Incredible memories, of course, for Jorge here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, as he was here last November in the Solidarity Grand Prix. He was crowned Motogp World Champion. Jorge arriving here after his brilliant ride in Hungary last month when he came through from 16th on the grid to finish 4th. Gentlemen, welcome to all 3 of you. As always, Marc, we'll start the press conference with you. You've said a few times in the build-up to this weekend, Montmello not one of your best tracks. But if we look this year at Qatar, at Mugello, at Assen and in Austria, history doesn't really seem to mean anything now you're on board at a factory Ducati. We know it's going to be low grip conditions this weekend as well, Marc, conditions which you're normally so good in. So how confident are you of keeping this great winning form going?
Yeah, of course. As every year here in Montmello, I know that I will need, or I need to work a bit more than another circuits to try to reach the top level. That will be the target during the weekend. But we arrive in a good shape. It's true that it's one of my worst circuits in the calendar. But yeah, the fact that this is the home GP give to me always extra motivation in the sprint race and main race. That is where we will try to score the maximum points.
We saw in the test here last November. We know this track suits Alex's riding style. You know he's going to be a big threat this weekend. Pedro is coming back to his best form. We know how strong the Aprilia is here as well in Catalunya. So do you think this weekend, Marc, could be the toughest since this running win started in Aragon?
Can be. Maybe it's the time to stop that victories in a row. We don't know. We will try to work for it. We will try to fight for the top. But it's true that as you mentioned, not only Alex, also Peko won the last 2 years here. So last 2 or last 3 maybe, I don't know. But he won on last 2 Sundays here last year. So yeah, let's see what we can do. But also Aprilia. Normally here with Aleix was super fast, so let's see if we can be with that top group.
And just finally for you, Mark, for the time being, of course it was here last November at the test where your journey in red started. I'm sure it's gone better than you could have imagined being in the factory Ducati team. But even at that first test, Mark, did you get a sense of this is where you belonged? This was the place that you need to be in the position that you are now to fight for that World Championship?
Yeah, of course, even before the test, I understand that that was the bike and the place to fight for the championship. And when I started working on the first test, I already understand the difference from 23 bike to 25. Already was some free tens on the straight that this is important, and then the team was working in a very good way, and yeah, then we start to build everything. But before the test, I already understand that here was the place.
Mark, have a great weekend here in Catalunya in front of your home fans. We'll come on then to Rebel KTM Factory Racing rider Pedro Acosta. As you mentioned, Pedro, you're on this great run of form at the moment. It feels like KTM are getting closer to that top step of the podium. Once again, this was the track, of course, where KTM won their last race in the dry. So is the mood in the garage coming this weekend? You have a good chance?
Well, last year also for myself, the first GP was quite okay. The second one I was struggling a bit more, but was already the tendency of the end of the last season, you know. But anyway, I think we can. We have to wait until tomorrow, jump on the bike on Friday and see what is going on. But it's true that the bike is improving a lot. We are becoming closer to this regularly top 5 that we want to achieve, and this is important. It's true that. Are going to be quite difficult to keep going in this moment that we are achieving podiums, but we need to be realistic also.
We know how important the grip levels are at this circuit. It's a demanding track for the tyres. Is this one of the most important race of the season in terms of strategy, in how you have to manage the bike and the tyres throughout the race? Yeah, sure. Normally the KTM is working quite okay when we have this low grip condition. Let's cross the finger that here has still been the same. But anyway, will be quite tough. Already last year that I crashed in the first GP at the beginning of the season, we was quite competitive, like I say, for this. Let's see how we can manage this weekend. And as you mentioned, things have started to click for you and KTM over these last few weeks. You had the aero update in Austria, which clearly seems to be a step forward. Do you think you'll feel that as being more of a help at this track with the improved turning in some of the more faster flowing sections like here in Barcelona? Yeah, for sure. I mean, we tried this aero in 2 tracks that are quite slow, a lot of breakings, but quite slow after all. Here, let's see, Danny and Paul, I think they was making a really nice job for this. Let's see what is going on, but like I say, no expectation at all. Let's see what's happened when we jump on the bike. Pedro, have a great weekend here as well in Barcelona. We'll come on then to our reigning world champion, Jorge Martin. Jorge, we can't talk to you about the circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya without a little look back to last November, the best day of your life, being crowned Motogp world champion. It's been some journey since then with some really difficult moments. How does it feel coming back though, and how many emotions do you feel when you walk back into the paddock here this weekend?
Yeah. Thanks for the words, because it was for sure a nice memory last time here in Barcelona when I won the championship. But you know, memories are memories. Now I want to focus on the present. I have a new project, a lot of work to do. I need to focus on myself. Will be a nice opportunity here to understand how the bike works. I need to keep building, you know, my confidence, and for sure I'm doing great steps. I know this track is good for me, it's good for Aprilia, but I don't want to, you know, have a lot of expectations on that. I want to go step by step and see where we can arrive. Recent results, Jorge, do show at this track the Aprilia traditionally is very, very strong. This is only your 5th race of the season, but given how fast you've been already in the races, are you daring to dream a little bit that a podium might be a possibility, or is it still a bit too early to think about that? I don't want to think on results. Let's see what the weekend brings us. I know it's a nice track for the Aprilia, but last time I rode here with Aprilia was quite tough in the test. for sure now it's a great opportunity because the bike changed a lot during these months. So it's a completely new bike. Let's see how it works. Maybe it's not that we don't have that difference from the past, but I'm sure that the bike will work well, and we will try to do our best.
And qualifying has meant this season, certainly so far, you've had to get used to a kind of a different type of racing. You're normally on the front row and that battle at the front. Have you found that experience of being in big fights so far this year? And how much longer do you think you'll need to find that explosive one-lap pace on the Aprilia?
I think it's a matter of time. You can see Marco is doing an amazing job in qualifying. I'm still struggling on that. I think I didn't have a lot of luck the last few times in qualifying, but I feel that it's a matter of time that I get to know the bike, because normally in race I can come towards the front, so I have confidence. But maybe to push the limit for one lap, I still miss a bit. So it's one of the targets here in Barcelona to try to ride by my own, try to make my own times and get that confidence again.
And you know this already, but our camera is ready and waiting for you at turn 5 tomorrow morning. It's one of the shots of the season. Are you ready for the shoulder down shot again?
Yeah, well, I will try tomorrow a bit of shoulder on the curb. Hopefully I don't crash.
Hopefully that is the case. Just before we move on to questions from the media, we've noticed that both Marc and you, Jorge, have got special helmet designs here for your home race here this weekend. So Marc, we'll start with you. Can you tell us the story behind your helmet this weekend?
Yeah, it's a bit related about Barcelona, because as we know, Barcelona is one part that is like more the old part, the deep city. That yeah, if you see the ground is all, I don't know the name of in English, the tile. So the tile is easy with that figure, and then some graffiti that also here have a very good artist.
Very, very cool helmet, Marc. We like that a lot. And Jorge, I believe there's been a collaboration with Milestone, who designed or produced the Motogp video game. Some lucky fan has helped design your helmet for this weekend.
Yeah, so we have a lot of fans that are playing Motogp video game 25. So we have this contest, and they all designed a lot of helmets. They were all amazing. It was tough to decide, but finally I chose this one with the Spanish flag, some chips like the Martinator. I hope gives me some power, and yeah, I love it. Let's go for a good one.
Very cool. I'm sure both are going to look very, very good on track here this weekend. Okay, that's enough from me for the time being, gentlemen. We'll take questions, please, now from the media. Thank you.
Yeah, here, Pablo Juan Arena, Dazón. You are 3 different generations here, riders. So this is a question for Pedro and for Jorge. How do you see Marc, because the oldest generation is still winning? So how do you see this Marc come back this season?
I mean, I said already a few weeks ago that it's clear that Marc will win this championship, but in the case that he win, will be the biggest comeback of a sportman in the history of the sport, let's say, because we can compare this with Michael Jordan when he go to play, how you call it? Baseball, and then come back to the basketball. I think will be the first MotoGP rider be able to sit in this table of Nadal, Alonso, and Gasol for this. I think will be one of the greatest comebacks of the sport.
Yeah, for me, what Marc did is amazing. His level is great, is incredible. For me, it's a great example, because I always look into the best and more talented riders to improve. So if the level is always better and better, it's better for me, because I will push my limits forward. So now he is the man to beat, and I will try to continue working to close his gap.
Oh, thank you for the word.
Hi, Melat Cércoles, Diario ES and Cadena Ser. Well done, Marc. I'm going to go to do a question that I did in Austria on Thursday, and you told me that was impossible. Would you like to have your first title ball next week in Misano?
I wish to have the title ball as soon as possible, but But honestly speaking, I wish to have in Japan or Indonesia, because if I have in Misano, means that my brother had a disaster weekend here in Catalunya, and you know, if I keep focus, it's matter of time. But for this case, I prefer a good weekend for my brother than the match ball in Misano.
Hi, Dimitris Diatsidis from Greek TV. A question for Jorge. Jorge, after this fantastic performance in Balaton, what do you think that you learned from the bike, and what, in which terms you are missing something and you want to make more progress?
Yeah, so Balaton was a really good weekend for me, not because of the result, but for the improvements I did on my feeling. Because on Friday and Saturday I was struggling with rear grip a lot. Then we changed something on the bike for warm-up, and I did a great step. I could ride like a normal way, my normal style. So I think in Balaton I missed really little details. It's more myself that I need to make more laps and laps to get used to this bike. But honestly speaking, when we make the test, I was like, okay, the bike is working well. It's just me that I need to continue riding. For sure, some details that we go to work on during this weekend, but and for the next weekends. But it's still a long process for me to be at my 100% with the bike. So step by step.
Hi guys, Guido Veneman from Netherlands. Question for all three of you. We got the confirmation that Manu Gonzalez will stay in Moto2, even though he's won a lot of races this year and leading the championship. Of course, you all three came as champions from lower classes to MotoGP. But do you feel that, as with the Spanish passport nowadays, that you need to perform more and show more than someone else to make it to MotoGP? And do you think that's fair?
I mean, it's true. It's true that what you say. I mean, with the Spanish passport, it's a bit more difficult to be in MotoGP. But if you are an extra talent rider, you jump straight away. Doesn't mean that Manu is not a talented rider, but the fact that also most of the good contracts are closed for the next year makes everything even more difficult. So he will have a new chance for 2027, and even maybe it's better for him because we will jump to Pirelli.
I think this will be only a small rock in his career. At the end, we see how fast can be Manu in Moto2, and at the end, I think this will make only him better, you know, have a slightly more experience in a lower category, make more laps, knowing already tracks in a slower bike, like can be Brazil next year, could be help, because it's not easy at all in a MotoGP bike. For this, I think this can make him better.
Yeah, for me it's the same. I don't feel now it's more difficult. I think since I was already trying to enter into the Rookies Cup, already with the Spanish flag was more difficult. But this made me better because I had to be always at the top. So if you are, as they say, if you are extra talent, you will arrive with no matter what flag. But there are some times where it's a bit more difficult.
Giovanni Zamagni, Moto IT and Sky Italia. I have a question for Marc. Marc, I would like to know which is the best and the worst memory you have here in Catalonia. Thank you.
The best memory 2014, because was the first time that me and my brother win the same Sunday. He won in Moto3 and I won MotoGP. The worst was 1 year that I crashed like 5-6 times, or I don't know the year, it was 18 or 17. But for me, the worst year is the one that we lose Luis Salom. That was the worst one. That I think was 16.
Yeah, Adam Wheeler, Mark over here. There's some videos of you on social media this week dancing and celebrating last year. Pretty crazy. I mean, the emotions now of winning 7 in a row, 14, you know, in a streak. It looks like a different kind of emotion. True or not?
Yes. Because the target last year was different than this year. So the fact that you are winning already 10 races on 10 Sundays, and the sprint race, and it's something that makes everything more calm. But because the main target is try to win try to fight for the championship and try to achieve it. Last year was try to find again, try to find the confidence to myself, try to enjoy it again, what is riding, what is MotoGP, and I found the perfect atmosphere in Sini team. For that reason, this year, when you win, is because you are on the place to win. And as I say on the team presentation, both factory riders have the pressure, if you are on that bike, to fight for the championship.
Hi guys, Thomas Bochard, straight in front of you. Question to Marc. You started your racing career in Catalunya.
Yes.
This racetrack is the first one that you had go on a road racing bike, and with Sepang, this is the racetrack where you had the biggest amount of laps. How come is it still a difficult track for you? What is difficult here?
I mean, it's a good question, Marc. It's true that it was a difficult track for me, but it's close to my hometown. But it's the track maybe that I ride less in my life, because we were moving always to Valencia, Albacete, Jerez, because the weather was a little bit better and the bike was more able to ride. And why? I don't know, but it's true that since my arm injury, I'm struggling even a little bit more than in the past.
Okay, I think the media are happy. So up next is MotoGP Social, and I'll hand over to our host, Elliot York.
Can we look?
Thank you very much. Hello guys, welcome to this week's MotoGP Social. We're playing Riders versus Google Translate. We've got 6 well-known MotoGP phrases / words that we've put into Google Translate in English, then translated it into different language, then translated it back into English.
And now what do we have to do?
And you've got to guess what the original MotoGP phrase was. What's on your board? We'll
the one was before.
The initial one, yes. So we'll do the first one and we'll reveal the answer afterwards. So the first one is reach the summit. What do you think that MotoGP phrase terminology could be?
So it's English, then another language, then again.
Then translated.
So we have to put it in English.
So you have to guess the English.
En inglés.
Es como que pasan de inglés a, yo qué sé, romano y luego inglés otra vez. Y a veces le cambias, ¿sabes?
This first one is quite tough.
It's quite tough.
Yeah.
This summit.
Entonces, ¿qué?
This is the same. So, you can do it again till it goes like this.
Sí. Lo han traducido al español.
Vale.
Y del español lo han vuelto a traducir al inglés el translator.
Ah, vale.
Y se le ha cambiado la frase.
Vale.
So yeah, it's been translated a few times, so you've got to guess what the first translation was. So Jorge's gone get to the top.
Yeah, we're still freestyle.
Freestyle.
Hitting the apex.
Hits the apex. Fair play,
Hitting
Pedro.
the
That is correct. Hitting the apex.
Who
Was
lo has
the
leído ya, ¿no?
Yeah.
That was the hardest.
You got it.
Was already before there.
It was already before.
It's okay.
So they had the answer. But well done anyway, Pedro, for watching the screen. So number 2 is get over.
Get over.
Move on. Let's try not give him the answer before. This one is easier.
Easy, get over.
Yo qué sé, tío.
Este puta.
Crash.
Overtake.
Overtake is the...
Vamos.
Oh.
One to Pedro, one to Jorge. So number 3 is all gas. Flat out. Full gas. Full gas. It's actually full throttle, but I think full gas.
All gas.
We can give at least half a point for that. So well done for that. This one, flat flag.
Flat flag.
Yeah. So think of quite an important flag that you see in every session. I might have given it away.
Escribo lo primero que... Flag to flag.
How you write checkered?
Checkered flag is
It's the MotoGP logo from the past.
Finish line is closed, flag to flag. I mean, it's a good guess.
Checkered flag, yeah.
Checkered flag.
Same.
Yeah. We'll give you that one. Number 5, a quick one in the round. PG, please.
Pole position, maybe.
First lap. City.
Fastest lap, yeah. So fastest lap is one. Pole position,
No.
not quite, but
Okay.
in the ballpark. Fastest lap, yeah, we'll go with that. And then the last one, quite an easy one, I think. Free training.
Free practice.
3 out of 3.
Yes. Okay.
And that's it.
Nice.
Thank you guys. Well done.
Thank you.
Matt, over to you.
Okay, guys, if you could like to sign those boards, and we'll get a photo with the boards first of all. If you can stand with the boards, then we'll get the first photo done and dusted. And then we'll do a quick one as well without the boards. Okay, Mark, Pedro, Jorge, have a great weekend. Thank you.
Go.